right, we have head coach Matt Painter. Once again, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Brian.
Matt, that's a pretty hard team to score on based on everything they've done this season. What really, I guess, was clicking for you offensively?
Yeah, obviously Jaden being able to break down the defense, then our ability to make threes. I thought he made good decisions to start the game and got our guys a couple threes. Travion and Zach did a good job around the rim. And just having balance of driving the basketball, being able to make enough threes. We had some open ones that you like to see go down, but 8 for 22 is not bad. And to just keep trying to execute. We out rebounded them and had fewer turnovers than them at their place and still lost. And then tonight again we out rebounded them and had fewer turnovers. If you keep doing that, you're going to give yourself a chance. Obviously it helps when you can make some shots, and we obviously made enough tonight.
Matt, some of the guys talked about just having that day off kind of helped, that they had fresh legs and
right.
Seemed very energized early in the game. Did you see that as something that sort of paid off there?
Well, they're always energized when the ball goes in. Like, our struggles are when we have to grind it when the ball doesn't go in. That's been our issue all year, just trying to get that consistency. But they're tough shot makers. Rutgers are. Geo Baker, Ron Harper Jr., McKay's. The last 7 games has been an all-conference player. There's an all-conference player again tonight. Just a fabulous guy. He's got a chance to be got a chance to play in the NBA. He's really good, understands the game, and has good size, can pass, can shoot. So for us, just trying to be consistent on both ends of the court. But when we don't turn the ball over and we score the ball, it helps our defense. It keeps us out of transition. And then, tonight I thought we did a solid job. Last 2 games we've kept people, I don't know the actual stat, what we were points per possession, but we were right around 1, a little bit below in our previous 2 games. So, we're making some strides, but it was still a game where we scored the ball enough. We get to, what do we get to? We get to 84 points. So we make a couple more shots, we can get closer to 90, but it's the games you got to grind out. That's why even though Maryland was a tough game for us, we still were able to find a way to win, even though it got crazy there at the end.
Just how you were able to flip the turnovers on your own turnovers down into single digits against that defense. What was the key for that?
Just concentration, taking care of the basketball. Throwing the ball away from the defense and knowing that they're going to try to take some passes away and get difficult with some things. When you throw the ball inside enough, and now they got to mess with it. You can't pressure everywhere and be able to double the post or scrape the post and give help in there. That allows you to move the ball a little bit better. If you get into transition or you got someone that can break down the defense and then they overhelp, that helps also. So those things, Jaden's ability to break people down, and then our size with Travion and Zach, I think really helped. But our overall decision making, like, they pressed us the majority of the game, and Eric Hunter did a fabulous job taking care of the basketball. And that really helps us because now we can get into what we want to. Even though they're getting us out of rhythm a little bit and they're making us use some time, we still did, probably outside of 2 or 3 possessions, did a good job executing.
Matt, on the back here, Matt.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Rutgers made some runs on you, but your guys tonight stayed the course and maintained a lead, and then they increased that lead. Sometimes we don't see that out of Purdue, but tonight we saw some progress as far as maintaining leads. How satisfied are you?
Yeah, well, that's what you want. Obviously it's in competition. You see it a lot in college basketball. You see it more in the NBA. Those leads can evaporate pretty quickly, and you got to be able to be solid at that time. We've fallen into a trap throughout the year. Once we get a lead to about 10 or 12, we get away from what we were doing, or we try to hit a home run and do something. I didn't see us doing that tonight. I felt like at times they pushed back, and it was really their good play. Like, they're tough to cover. They're a good team. They're a good team. That was probably the greatest quad 2 win in the history of college basketball. They're unbelievable. If you got better teams than Rutgers going the NCAA tournament, it's going to be the greatest tournament ever, because they're fabulous. They're a team that can win a lot of games in the NCAA tournament, in my opinion.
Coach, let's talk about Jaden Ivey. He grew up, his mom coach, world-class coach, just like you, world-class coach. What's it like to see you watch him grow, not only as a person but as a player, being coached and just being the leadership he's showing and just as he's going along? Yeah,
well, he's a good guy. Like, he cares about playing, but he's young. Just obviously in his second year, just as a sophomore, but he's getting better. His decision making. We want him to be aggressive. Sometimes they take away a lot of things with him, obviously, because he's a good player. And when he does that and gets the ball out of his hands, he really gives us a dynamic that I think separates us, to be frank with you. When he doesn't do that and he has predetermined thoughts, that's where you see the tough shots and the turnovers come. And today I didn't see predetermined thoughts. They put 2 to 3 people on him. He found some people. They gave him space. He was aggressive. So, he's dynamic. Obviously a couple of those drives, there's not too many people in college basketball that can do that.
Matt, just follow up on the press. Where do you feel like you guys have made the most strides facing a press?
Yeah, just our confidence. Just like, we're not schematically doing anything different than what we've done before. We kind of set up a little bit different a couple times, but, just confidence. You can see Eric Hunter, feels good about himself, handling the press, changing speed, changing direction. Our guys have done a good job timing their flashes. So it's not too hard. It's just a 2-2-1 press or a 1-2-2 press. We make it look hard a couple times, but if you look, and this is on me, because the more time we give it, the better we do. We gave it time the other day. And so, like, when we knew they could do some of it, we didn't think they would do it the whole game. But, like, when we went and played Iowa again, we did a good job. And so anytime someone's pressing and we spend time, the problem is late in the year, you've been practicing for 4 or 5 months. You don't have 2 to 3 hours to practice. You want to get them in. You want to get to what you need to get to. But this team needs to continue to work on it. You just can't say, okay, we got it figured out now because we turned it over once against the press in a whole game. We just got to keep working on it. But like I said, we don't have a lot of time.
Zach gets 15 on 6 shots, doesn't turn the ball over, but it was that stretch where he got the offensive rebound that led to 3 and then the assist to Gillis at the end of the shot clock.
Right.
That really mattered. Can you kind of speak to where he is right now in terms of being a complete player who affects the games with more than just drawing fouls and scoring?
Yeah, his ability to pass has really improved. And just whenever he has turnovers, it's passing across his body. It's just rushing into things. When he takes his time and squares his shoulders, he does a good job of making decisions. So he's really grown in that area.
Anything else?
Oh, I guess I'll go. Coach, what is your philosophy on zone defenses? Like, why do you necessarily try and stray away from that? Is that a personnel thing?
Yeah, I don't stray away from it. I don't do it. Okay? So when I got the job 17 years ago, I just went and studied, like, why in the Midwest, especially in the Big Ten, do they not primarily zone? So who's the last person that used the zone as a primary defense that won the Big Ten? Well, you guys are supposed to be experts. And you asked the question, but you don't know, right? No. I think it's the 73 Minnesota Golden Gophers. Ron B. Hagan, Dave Winfield. And I think that's correct. So I just went back and studied, Tom Izzo, Bob Knight, Bo Ryan, Thad Matta, Bruce Weber, the guys that won, at least multiple times, Wisconsin and great guard. And you start to look, John Beilein at Michigan. John Beilein had one of the best 1-3-1 defenses at West Virginia. I mean, it was perplexing people. And he came into our league and he said, I just need to get my personnel and I'll run it. He never ran it. Why that is, I don't know. But if you go to the Big East and you go to the traditional Big East of the Georgetown, the Syracuse, the St. John's, when they battled, like that's, the East Coast is more of a zone-driven league. So I just want to win the Big Ten, like, without getting to it, like, you know what I mean? But I always looked at it too, like you're trying to win the Big Ten, but you also want to win the NCAA tournament. So I just studied it. I also studied, like, where guys came from that came to Purdue for 50 years and why certain places were better than other places. So when you study it, and I've messed with it a little bit about 7-8 years ago, and we were terrible at it, probably because I wasn't very good at teaching it. But yeah, I just want to win the Big Ten. Just want to win and just want to get good at something. A lot of times when guys mix things up and they change, they can win a game or whatever, but like I want to win a championship and try to build and get really good. So I know I got kind of philosophical, but you wanted it. So so that's why we do it. And the people that I learned under, Gene Cady and Bruce Weber. Gene Cady had a pretty good career. Bruce Weber's had a fabulous career. And so, like, that's what, those are the guys I learned under. That's what we're doing. And I'm driven through winning. And no matter when you struggle, and Coach Boeheim talked about this, because Coach Boeheim used to be a straight man-to-man guy. He goes, whenever he lost, You know, when he was man-to-man, they said, well, why didn't you zone? And now he zones. Whenever he loses, they say, well, why didn't you man-to-man? It doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, you got to figure out what's the best for you. So, but there's people in there in that stands, they're waiting for the new coach, so he'll zone. You know, and the new coach is coming. I hope not soon, but he's coming, because that's what we all are. We're all replacements. You guys are replacements. I'm a replacement. We're all replacements. So just cherish it. But no, it's just logical in my thinking. I'm not saying it's maybe logical in yours, but it's logical in my thinking. It's the best thing to do at Purdue in the Big Ten Conference.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome. Go study the 73 Gophers.
Thank you, guys.
There you go.